Hello, this is Aaron Dubinsky coming to you today from the Chut Shel Chesed Yeshiva Beit Knesset in the holy city of Yerushalayim, the beautiful state of Israel. I want to talk to you about something that's very timely today. Election time. Well, it's timely here in Israel because we have elections coming up here in Israel in just a few short weeks. And like any elections in anywhere in the country, there's always going to be machlokas. There's always going to be arguing. This guy's no good. That guy is terrible. This guy is horrible. You know, it's interesting when you think about it that people would want to tell you how bad their opponent is. Because it's a sad story when you have to make yourself look good by making someone else look bad. So perhaps it would behoove everybody involved in the election to talk mainly about what they want to do, what makes them good, what makes them the right choice. And interestingly enough, this does dovetail into Purim in a minute, you'll see, but interestingly enough, as we get closer to the election, I saw someone the other day giving a speech, someone in America talking about the election here in Israel, a Jew, talking about an election in Eretz Yisrael. And the long and the short of his discussion was, he said, I really don't care who wins in the election. Now, this may sound a little bit cavalier, but let's explore it a little bit. The reason he said that is he says, I do not have an allegiance to one prime minister or another prime minister. My allegiance is to Israel and the God above. That's where my allegiance lies. I leave it in his hands as to who's going to be the next prime minister. And I thought, isn't that this the way it should be? That's exactly the way it should be. Then what happens is we have a little bit more of a unified group. Because you know, whatever happens, however it comes out, and I'll be the first to tell you there are some unsavory characters as far as I'm concerned running, but however it comes out, it's Hashem's plan because, oh yes, everything comes from Hashem. Everything that is, was, or ever will be, it all has purpose, and the purpose is always for our ultimate best. You notice I didn't say it's for our best tomorrow or next week or next month. It's for our ultimate best. And we'll see what that is after the election is over. And after the election is over is when the binding of wounds will start. And what we have to do is make sure that we bind them together very tightly, because achdus, unity is what is important. It is what makes things work in the best possible way. I told you I was going to talk about Purim. Now, there's a story about Purim. There are many stories about Purim, but this particular one I think is very important. It says, the sages tell us that Mordechai, you remember him, the uncle / husband of Queen Esther, Mordechai got 1 million children to start saying Shema every day. 1 million children saying Shema every day. And that is what helped to avert the evil decree. You know, there's 2 holidays that we have. One is Purim and one is Hanukkah that are different from the other holidays. Most of the holidays are as above, so below. You can go right through the whole list. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Shavuos, etc. It's Sukkot. You can go through them all. It's as above, so below. But on these 2 holidays, it's as below, so above. It's set up in such a way that we are the ones who are required to make the efforts. Remember, I told you not that far back how important it was for us to put our effort in everything that we do. But in these particular holidays, more so than anything else, we had to do that. There was fasting for everybody. There was Shemas for all the children. This was unity at its highest point. And this is what turned the tables so that the other side got hung instead of the people he wanted to have hung. That would have been us. So this is an important thing, this unity. When we get done with these elections, we have to have that same kind of unity. Does this unity come up anywhere else in Torah? Sure it does. It comes up all the time. You know, it says that when they were building the Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel, this is when everybody spoke the same language. Hard to even imagine, right? but they spoke the same language, and they wanted to build a tower to the heavens so they could show that Hashem, that they were as powerful as he was. Well, you know, the end of the story is they do not make it, and he confuses their languages, and all of a sudden, instead of one language, they speak 70 languages, and they don't understand each other, and the project just falls apart. But it got a long way. It got really high into the sky. How could it possibly happen? How is it that Hashem let that happen? Because they were united. Achdut. Achdut. They were united. They were as one. And because of that, it was so powerful that they got as high as they did. Obviously, they couldn't be allowed to go much higher than that, and Hashem put an end to it. But the fact is, Achdut is a very, very powerful concept, and we need to use it ourselves. Not just on Purim, not just on Hanukkah. Remember I told you Hanukkah was the other holiday, as below, so above. That was a case where a very small minority of the Jews actually were on the side of Matisyahu and the Maccabees. About 5% maybe. That's it. The rest of them pretty much like the idea of living like Greeks. They like the idea of the spas. They like the idea of working out. They like the idea of living like Greeks, which is not like living like Jews. It's always a matter of fact, at the end of the day, when Matisyahu won, he had to bring them back together. He had to have unity again. Unity is what makes it. Not just here in Israel, not just as in elections, everywhere in the world. We have situations where the world is falling apart. There is stuff out there that is so bad, so disgusting, that it makes me pale to even think about it. Things that 50 years ago you would never discuss in normal company. They were for discussions behind closed doors and only among the most intimate of friends. But today, anything goes, because we started a thing several years ago called Do Your Own Thing. Well, do your own thing is exactly the opposite of unity. It takes you in every direction possible. And look where it's led us today. It's led us to a world where everybody's fighting. Everybody's calling each other names. Everybody's yelling at each other. Everybody's threatening each other. None of the threats are coming through for the most part, but the fact is it doesn't make a difference. It brings such machlokas, such discomfort and disorganization to the world that instead of doing what we're supposed to be doing, following the dictates of Hashem, we live in a world where we live a life that may not be fulfilling, may not be happy, may not be full of love, because we're so consumed with our own interests. That has got to change. We need to consider the interests of others, particularly the Jewish people. It says the Jews are responsible one for the other. We help each other. As a matter of fact, if you ever come to Israel, you'll find it's the most unusual place. It's not quite like the United States or Europe. In Israel, if you get into a problem, your car pulls over to the side, it won't be more than probably a matter of a few minutes before somebody will stop to help you. Why? Because all Israel is responsible, one, for the other. People will let you sometimes do things that you would never even ask for in any country of the world. They'll let you get into line because you're in a hurry. I've seen a woman, this is a true story, I still can't believe it's true, but I saw a woman one time when I was riding buses here with a child, couldn't have been more than 4 years old, asked another woman about her age, would you mind watching my son and making sure he gets off at the such and such stop? I want you to think about that. Can you even imagine doing that in America? I lived there most of my life, and I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't even set the kids out at night alone. Here, I'm walking down the street in Bet Yisrael, and it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to daven, and I see a little 2-year-old walking on the street alone. Alone, a 2-year-old at 10 o'clock at night. What is he doing out there alone? What could happen to him? Well, first of all, what you didn't see is there are dozens of eyes up in the apartments around him who are watching. But I realized finally, thank God, he wasn't alone. His 4-year-old sister was right there behind him watching him. Can you imagine doing something like that anywhere else in the world? So we have a leg up. We have a start. We have Jews watching out for Jews. We need people all over the world to be watching out for one another. We need to make sure that we are a cohesive group, and a cohesive group that lives according to the laws of Torah, or as close as possible. I understand there's a lot of people out there who don't do that yet. I'm hoping they will, because I think, particularly here in Israel, everybody says, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this. I said, why not? Well, we're a democracy. Democracy? We're not supposed to be a democracy. We're supposed to be a theocracy. This state of Israel is supposed to be a Jewish state. Just this year, the law was passed, making it officially a Jewish state. What more could be making it more Jewish than if Jews lived according to the laws of Torah? That's a theocracy. And that's what we should be aiming for. I know there's a lot of people here who don't like that idea yet. By the way, you'll find that whenever I speak to you, and if I tell you something is not where it should be, I always end the sentence with yet, because there's always a possibility. Things could always come back to where they need to be. But in this case, we need to start coming to the realization that this world was created by Hashem. And He gave us the rules to live by. Nowhere in the rules does it say we should be beating each other up, we should be killing each other, we should be hurting each other. We are all His children. All of us. Us, the other religions of the world, Eskimos, I don't care what group you pick, we're all His children. He created each and every one of us. So what we have to remember is you're going to love this, we're all brothers and sisters. So as brothers and sisters, yes, we will have our arguments. Yes, we will have discussions that don't come to a conclusion we would like. But at the end of the day, we're still brothers and sisters. We need to take care of one another. We need to bring the world to a place where it lives according to Torah, because that was the rules that were given to us by the Creator of the universe. He creates the universe. He gave us the rules to live in the universe. Sounds perfectly normal, doesn't it? Why can't we do this? Because we have to take me out of the equation. I used to have a friend, she says, there's no I in team. I said, very good. She says, yeah, but there's an M and an E, and that's me. No, my friends. We need to be watching out not only for ourselves, for our families, for our neighborhoods, for those around us. We need a sense of unity. There is nothing stronger. Even Hashem respects the fact that even if we don't do what we're supposed to do, if we are united as one, He doesn't take us down. Stories of kings of Israel who were terrible, and there was idol worship, and there was all sorts of things going on. Why didn't He take them down? Because they were united. You can't pull it apart. It's strong. And if we do that, if we stay united, and we build this state, and we build this world the way Hashem asked us to, we will all participate in the bringing of Mashiach Tzidkenu and the third Beit HaMikdash. B'meheri Ameinu Amen. My friends, I see you all out there, and I see a smile on your face. And I want you to know, keep it there. It looks good on you. You all have a great day, a Freilich and Purim, a Hag Sameach. Enjoy what's coming up this week. It's not just about the fun. There are things we have to do. We have to bring ourselves closer to Hashem. We have to help in the bringing of the coming of Mashiach. Be well, my friends. God bless.